And I stand on the principle of knowing that I did hurt somebody, and for that, I wish her nothing but the best, wellness and support, and my deepest. With that being said, professionally, what I've done, what I contributed to, what I was a huge part of, what was, what was stripped from me because of whom I choose to be with and whom I choose. Like you're not supposed to. Personal relationships go on the job all the time. You know what I mean? And when it happens in everyday situations, you choose not to speak to somebody. Oh, you still see somebody, you keep it moving. But when it's on this level of what me and her was, and what was being created and cultivated, in some cases originated, like you got to deal with that accordingly. And I know my general makeup to a lot of people might seem a certain way. You hear a lot of things about people who don't know me. It's a small group of people who do. And I'm not trying to prove nothing. The people that I have helped, the people that I have been instrumental of being a catalyst to, they know who they are. And, I wish nothing but the best still. Even when you do me dirty, it's like, all right, God got me, I'm good. He brought me this far, he gonna keep bringing me. And I don't wish nothing bad on the situation, so that's why I remain quiet throughout. When I did choose to share certain pertinent things, people decided they wanted to exploit, twist it, all for clicks. It's all good. God got me. He don't got you. To any event, what happened to me as an executive in a business that does not have a lot of diversity was not called for. And I struggled with whether I was going to pursue this, because after such a public divorce where everybody chose to do what they do in the movie, and which I feel was not a rightful depiction of the situation at all. You could have definitely spent more time on the real accomplishments and the defining moments that made her who she is. There's a lot of people that need to be thanking what she put down. From TMZ on down, when there wasn't no platforms and all these wasn't no social media. But instead, there was a bunch of hurt. There was a bunch of people using the opportunity to discredit, take a personal situation and discredit my hard work. Hard work where I never missed a day, maybe 3 days tops out of 10 years. She never missed one day. And because of that, the effects of that are happening now. See, if there's any other player, let's just say from a sport or what have you, and they happen to have a season where they're injured or whatever, you give that person time to rehab and do what they need to do. But when you don't do that, then you risk more injury, more hurt, more pain. I remained silent because I wanted the person that I was going through this with to not go through as much pain, as it was causing with a deeper rooted issue at hand that everybody seems to have just thought just went into thin air. I didn't want that person to keep suffering. So I took whatever blows I needed to take, and I still was helping. So for all of you people that just think, you know, it's about taking something, in the midst of my divorce, I continued through the grace of God to save a person's life. Do me a favor, go inside, cut the light on. I continue to go through that, you know, because that's the type of person I am. So I never stopped being that person. But through the course of the divorce, one of the fastest celebrity divorces in history, because I basically left whatever on the table just to have peace of mind and wanted her to have peace of mind. In doing so, I still had to save life. I still had to save her life. And there's some people that very much know what I'm talking about, because they was responsible for almost seeing her life come to an end. There's current people in place, management, that clearly put her in a life and death situation and denied medical coverage and care. And if it wasn't for my son and myself stepping in, that's it. And when I say step in, I mean when you got somebody telling, you know, my son, who's the most beautiful spirit on the place on this planet, you got people that's trying to objectify him right now because all he wants is his mother well. He don't care about none of that. He grew up in front of all of this. He don't know nothing, but he wants his mother well. Well, you got somebody sitting there who just got there telling your son that no, you can't send these people up to a place to save her, to do a real wellness check. Not this control stuff that's happening now, a real wellness check. When you got somebody telling a 20-year-old that, to a point where he got to say, if you don't let these people upstairs to go look at my mom's, I'm calling 911. That's the only thing that allowed for rescuers to get up there. And 2 blood transfusions later, that queen's still here. With people who, because of, I don't know if it's pride, a narrative, a overall dissent, you know, I understand that there was a bunch of people around me that didn't want to be around me. I get it. I come from a certain place. I understand that there was a bunch of people that couldn't wait till I get out the way so that they can have their way. I get it. I didn't, you know, I understand. But the amount of people that knew exactly what was happening on my departure and not making sure that certain steps was in place, because certain departments that's supposed to be, when you at a normal situation, you're supposed to have different departments to deal with somebody of this magnitude in case anything happens. So i.e., you would have never seen this happen to a Ellen DeGeneres. You would have never seen this happen to a Jimmy Fallon. You don't hear about any of this stuff. But here, there's no installation for a person, and for the most part, there are people who absolutely know and they know so much. They ready to they know. So I'm not just saying that, like, I'm telling y'all this because at the end of the day, it wasn't about half of what anybody thinks. And I know I don't owe anybody or everybody an explanation. I'm just being forthright right now. That was one of the instances while getting dragged, you know, and that's cool. With that being said, professionally, when it comes to the lawsuit that I'm presenting, and what I waited, you know what I mean, to do, because I didn't know if I really wanted to go through anything after all this happened with the divorce. It's about the respect of what I did contribute creatively